Creator is that voice that comes up with all the tangible things. Creator has instruments.
Hello, this is Leander Robbie, and I'm here with the esteemed leader and founder of Healings and Associates, David Healings.
Esteemed. Well,
Esteemed.
that was not written in the script, dude.
But that's okay. You know, we're ad-libbing here, but it's really good.
Okay.
It gets better and better the more of these we do. So it's great to have you along for this brief moment. We're talking about balance and leadership and how to use archetypes to achieve that balance. And it's interesting when you think of archetypes in general, because some of them we just naturally resonate with, and if you've been watching any of these videos, or if you go through all of them, there are some that you'll say, oh, that one, I like that one, and then some you might be like, and that response is natural. We tend to see the ones we are comfortable with, that we see those archetypes in their strength side, and we tend to see the archetypes we're not so comfortable with, we see them in their shadow side.
Do people, Leander, make judgments based on people that way?
You think?
Yeah, isn't that something?
Right. Yeah. That's why we've seen that person across the room in conference meetings, or they're on, now our virtual call, since we're working virtually right now. And it's that they grind on our nerves a little bit. That grating effect can sometimes be we're hearing their archetype, and it's one that we're not comfortable with. So we see the shadow side of that person when it's really their archetype.
So let's talk about the balance between the destroyer archetype. Now there's a phrase, and the creator archetype. Okay. The destroyer, everybody would like to change that name, but tell us why that's so important. Tell us what the destroyer part of our life is, why that's so important.
Yeah, everybody has a place and a time in their life where it's important to transition and transform and move on. And the only way we can do that is to let go of something. We can call it acceptance, but a lot of times we need to identify and name what it is that needs to be let go of and move on from there. So
this seems to me that we're in a pretty tough part in our country right now, because this is almost like a grieving process. When you think of high school seniors who are losing their senior year, or sports teams, they're losing their activity. We're seeing people losing their jobs. Probably hard for them to hear the concept of let it go and move on. But is that not the destroyer archetype?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And thus it's not always welcome for that reason.
Yeah. So the other side of that is the creator. So the creator is a little different than the seeker. If you were able to watch our balance between seeker and lover, we talked about, but the seeker is the idea person. The creator is the one who creates the instrument. So they're actually putting things together. So if I just get rid of things, destroyer, I need to bring something else back in, which is the creator archetype. Tell me where that fits with this balance of leadership as we're talking about people right now trying to lead in the middle of crisis.
Well, it's important that we have, in letting go of things, it's almost being forced upon us, right? Not even that there was a voice in our world that started to point or identify something. It's forced on us, but it does create bandwidth, and so that we can invest time and resources. I mean, it's like GM and Ford now are building ventilators.
Yeah, there you go.
Boom. They've shifted, and they are totally in creator mode now, doing something that I don't know if they've ever done in their company's history, right?
Right.
Yeah, and it's needed. We need that, and we need tangible, concrete instruments, if you will, that the destroyer has created that bandwidth so that we can invest that time and money there.
So let's talk about a leader who falls out of balance in regard to the destroyer creator. I'll take the creator because that's easier. Tell me, Leander, what is a destroyer leader who's out of balance right now doing?
They are too quick to just clear everything off the deck.
There you go.
It's just, let's just get rid of everything and start from scratch, when there's valuable things that we still need to use, hang on to, values within an organization that we don't want to lose. Yeah.
So they're throwing the baby out with the bathwater.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think the balance there has to be really careful. Now, the problem with the creator is that the creator, wouldn't you think the creator right now is this is like a prime time for them. Think about all these different entities, even worship for churches is all of a sudden turned into something completely different no one thought. And so you have all these creators who are coming in, and what can happen is the creators start creating things and they forget that other people aren't there yet. And they're creating these new tools, and we like the tools if it fits us, but if it doesn't, pretty soon what will happen is the creator will begin to create such a massive system thing for us to use that we're not going to be very comfortable with it after a while. We want to go back to our old systems. And that's again, we get back to where we talked earlier about the lover part of that. So the destroyer is saying, hey, let's let go of some things. This is a great time in the balance of leadership to learn, hey, what can we let go?
Right.
On the other hand, this is also a great time in which we can create new ways in which we're doing things. I saw an article that we have a great experiment going on, working from home. What if it works? Okay, that's the creator. That was a creator right there that wrote that last little phrase. So keep the balance. That's what we're trying to get you to do as leaders. Make sure you understand that as we go through a crisis, we have a tendency to go from one extreme to the other. And this is a really big one. You can throw everything away, or you can just start creating everything new. And there's probably a balance in there in between. So try to find that balance. If you'd like some help, visit HewingsandAssociates.com. You can get in touch with Leander or myself, and we'll be glad to give you some coaching quips as we go through. Have a great day.
Thanks for joining us.
Creator is that voice that comes up with all the tangible things. Creator has instruments.